Welcome back to TSL today. We hope you had a fantastic Thanksgiving break. Hope everyone had the time to spend with their families, travel, whatnot. But we're all back here at home base in Blacksburg, Virginia at the Corporate Research Center. Got so much to talk about today. We're talking Virginia Tech basketball, ACC Big Ten Challenge, and everything going on with that. It's TSL today on a Monday from Blacksburg. Hi, everybody. Giovanni Heater, joined alongside Kyle Marchak with you. We come to you on Monday, November 28th, right here from the Corporate Research Center in Blacksburg. Kyle, like we talked about, a lot of Virginia Tech basketball news and updates to go over, so why not just jump right into it here? And I think first and foremost, huge news that surfaced this morning across the landscape of college basketball. The ACC Big Ten Challenge is no more. It's been played every single year since 1999, even in 2020, or 2021, I guess I should say, the COVID season. Tech joined the ACC in 2004. They've participated every year except 2013 and 2017 when they had two off seasons the year prior and did not get to participate. Yeah. But it is no more, and now it will turn into the ACC SEC Challenge. Kyle, your thoughts with that?
That's pretty cool. You know, I think that's one of those steps from the ACC to try and continue to level up. Obviously, they're a Power 5 conference, so they put themselves on that pedestal, the same echelon as the SEC, Big 10, Big 12, and the Pac-12. But I think it's kind of obvious in both college basketball and football, the SEC is that elite conference. So trying to establish themselves on the same level as them, I think it's a good step up. I like that move.
Virginia Tech is 6-9 overall in the ACC Big Ten Challenge, and I kind of want to go over possible opponents for Virginia Tech here when you look at flipping the page from Big Ten to SEC. Tech has always been kind of middle of the pack, sometimes lower towards the bottom of the ACC, and that's reflected in the quality of opponent on the other side in the opposing conference that they've played against. So here's kind of a rundown for you. Virginia Tech is 1-0 against Maryland. Penn State, they are 0-4 against the Nittany Lions when they are playing in the ACC Big Ten Challenge. Obviously, they've played them outside of that, just beat them about a week ago. Yeah. But in the ACC Big Ten Challenge, they're 0-4. 4-0 against Iowa. They did play Michigan once. That's a blue blood that they have played. They won in Ann Arbor. So they are 1-0 against Michigan, 0-1 against Northwestern, 0-1 against Minnesota. That loss came in 2011. That was on the road at Minnesota. They are 0-1 against Purdue, 0-1 against Wisconsin, and then another blue blood that they played, Ohio State. They are 0-1 against the Buckeyes. So 6-9 overall. So you look at the SEC. Who are they kind of going to look to play in that situation? Obviously, Tech has improved. They are kind of towards the top half of the ACC these days. I think the biggest one you got to circle, possibly a matchup against Texas A&M, who's preseason 7th in the SEC.
Yeah, no, that's a go-to, Texas A&M. I mean, Buzz Williams is obviously a great connection. That'd be the first reason why you'd want to face a team like them. And honestly, they're on a similar path, a similar trajectory right now. I think it'd be great. You have a couple other ones listed that I agree with. Florida, LSU. I think South Carolina would be a really cool one to see. On top of that, there are a couple others that I think we could definitely match up with. I think a team like Georgia, although they're a little bit lower in the SEC right now, is a matchup that's very possible. Tennessee, considering the rivalry, if you want to call it that, with women's basketball and Virginia Tech, we have that game coming up between women's in a week or so. So I think that'd be a reason to get that matchup going. But again, I think with the step up in competition, considering the SEC is a little bit stronger of a conference this year, there's really no wrongdoing there. I think there are all good teams to face, other than the bottom of the bottom, such as Vanderbilt or Florida right now.
Right. And I think the SEC has become a much improved conference. Obviously, the Big Ten, very good in their own right. I would love to see Tech play Tennessee. I mean, you share a border with them. It's like a 3.5-hour drive to Knoxville. I just think Tennessee is a very good basketball team right now, and football team. Very good basketball team right now. They've already picked up some big wins. They're well into the top 25. They'll be moving up here once the next set of rankings come out. Tennessee, Virginia Tech would be a fun matchup. Obviously, Texas A&M will be fantastic. You look at the top of the SEC, Kentucky, Arkansas, Tennessee, Alabama, and Auburn. Duke, could play Kentucky in the Champions Classic. They play that every year. The 4 teams in that are Kentucky, Duke, Michigan State, and Kansas. Every couple of years they match up with Kentucky, so that might take that out of the question. In that case, I think Kentucky probably plays like a UNC or a Virginia. Arkansas is kind of new to the top of the conference, but they've been really good the last like 3-4 years. Tennessee, same kind of deal there. Alabama just knocked off North Carolina in 4 overtimes last night. And then Auburn's a team that went really far into the NCAA tournament. Bruce Pearl, a young, entertaining coach to watch. They're just a fun team to follow. I would love to see Virginia Tech match up against an Auburn as well. Kind of 2 teams on a similar trajectory. Auburn's just kind of made that extra leap.
Yeah, I think, you get that comp with like a team like, I don't know, in the Big Ten, a team like Illinois that's just kind of, pounced into the rankings and become a legitimate team out of the Big Ten. It's kind of a similar deal with Auburn, although they are on that echelon now where they've kind of become that national championship contender the past couple of years. They've been that number 1 seed. So, yeah, I think that would be really cool. But, it's hard to imagine a world where you don't see us face Texas A&M within the next 3 years in the SEC Challenge, just because Buzz Williams is there. And again, they're both organizations that are on a very similar trajectory right now, both teams that are in that mid to higher level, although Texas A&M is stacked lower in the standings right now for SEC, but mid to higher level of their conference standings. It's hard to imagine a world where we don't get Buzz Williams in town or we go visit Texas A&M. That would be really cool.
I think they got to come to Blacksburg.
Yeah.
I mean, they could schedule it on the road, don't get me wrong, but it would have an incredible effect if he came and coached at Castle Coliseum. All right, let's go to our next piece of news and updates. It's brief, but definitely wanted to touch on it. EA College Football has moved their video game release date from 2023, which was this upcoming summer, to 2024. The reason being is there's a couple different developmental reasonings, but they're trying to figure out the NIL side of things. They want players to be compensated. They want players to be in the video game where you're truly playing as Grant Wells and you're truly playing as Caleb Smith and Keyshawn King and all your favorite Hokies in the video game, inside a Lane Stadium, Enter Sandman, the whole thing. They're bringing a return back to the college football video game that has a cult following. I mean, it seriously does. And I think this is a big deal for Tech football players because with the way they're trying to figure things out, they're going to get compensated for being in a video game. Yeah. And that's great for NIL and for Virginia Tech athletics.
No, I love that look. As a college student, it's hard for a lot of people who aren't very involved in NIL and just like the sports industry in general to like it. They're like, really? They're pushing it back another year. It was 2023. Now it's 2024. Like, how long do we have to wait? But for this video game to finally be back on track with NIL, it's, for me, I'm a big fan of it. I don't care how long it takes, as long as it's within the next few years. You want to have this video game, first of all, to compensate all the athletes in it.
Right.
And so I agree. It's 100% a great look for Virginia Tech athletes, especially for a football team that's struggling right now. It's more incentive for these players to continue to grind away. And, now they get to see themselves in a video game and stuff like that. Really doesn't mean that much, but it's cool. But, with EA finally developing this game and getting all the athletes that they can involved, you want it to have this like Lydian or luxurious look. So I'm pretty excited about that.
Yeah, absolutely. And as a big fan of the game, I was disappointed that it won't be coming out this summer. I was looking forward to definitely playing that, but I guess we can certainly wait a year, no doubt about it. All right, we're going to take a short break here on TSL today. When we come back, talk a little bit of Virginia Tech women's basketball. They've been on an absolute tear lately. The Hokies are looking very, very sharp on the court. And then following that, we're going to go ahead and preview Virginia Tech and Minnesota tonight in the ACC Big Ten Challenge for the final time in Castle Coliseum. Kyle Marchak, Giovanni Heater. We'll see you after this.